मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, new market brings renewed hope for vendors. TC Harrell leaves $100 million damage bill. And farmers to receive early fourth cane payment.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
More than 400 vendors will now be able to sell their produce with dignity and in a much safer environment following the opening of the new Langere Nasinu market today. Vendors say they are happy that the struggles of having to sell from an unsafe and unhygienic environment is over. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says the new market was needed for the well-being of vendors and their customers alike, and the need to shift away from the informal, disorganized way of operating. Pranita Prakash reports.
The struggling days for this mother of 5 is finally over. She had been sleeping at the old market for the past 10 years just to keep her produce safe.
We started sleeping at the old market when we found out that our produce are being stolen daily at nights. Sometimes when we come in the morning, some dalo and other produce would be missing. That's why we have been sleeping at the old market every night.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says new market and mini markets are being built to bring vendors out of the informal roadside stalls and into safe and functional marketplaces.
We've made this investment for their sake and the sake of both their physical and financial security. For the well-being of our vendors and the customers alike, we must shift away from the informal, disorganized way of operating.
Langere Market will be a one-stop experience for many. With a clean and organized environment, customers will enjoy their shopping experience and have access to additional services at the kiosks and the restaurants.
More than $7 million has been spent on this new Langere Nasinu market. The new market has created a safer environment for the 459 market vendors. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The damage bill from Tropical Cyclone Harrell that ravaged parts of Viti Levu and the islands of Kadavu, Vatulele and the Lao Group last month is estimated at around $100 million. The assessment by the National Disaster Management Office also reveals that the Category 4 system affected 180,000 Fijians. Koroi Tandolala reports.
The National Disaster Management Minister says the degree of damage caused by TC Harrell varies across all sectors.
Some people have their houses completely destroyed, but there are some that have their houses only partially destroyed. So it varies, I would say, but in total it's about 186,000, if I remember the figure correctly, that were of our population that were affected by TC Harrell.
Seri Ratu says this cyclone response is being provided in 2 phases and they have spent almost $6 million in delivering the necessary relief assistance so far.
The total damages and losses incurred as a result of TC Harrell comes to around 100 million. The high costs in the infrastructure and utilities, particularly road and water grid, EFL grid, and high cost was also on housing sector, because most of the houses were damaged in the 4 divisions.
Some villages in the Maritime Islands who endured the wrath of the cyclone shared their ordeal.
It was the strongest cyclone I ever come across in my life.
It was a strong cyclone. We watched as some of the houses were destroyed and some roofs blown away.
The TC Harrell state of natural disaster that was issued on April 13th ended yesterday. Details of the assessment and other issues raised by the Maritime Islanders will be outlined by the Prime Minister later this week. Koroi Tandolala, FBC News.
The Education Ministry says it is confident of completing all school syllabus for this year, should schools be given the go-ahead to open next month. Schools have been closed since March due to COVID-19, but a decision on whether schools resume on June 15th is expected this week. Minister for Education Rosie Akbar says all the plans for the next few months is dependent on the announcement by the Prime Minister, keeping in mind the safety of students and teachers. Faria Begum has more.
The Education Ministry is waiting for an all-clear from the Ministry of Health.
We will have to await the decision from the Health Ministry. to whether we should open schools or not.
Akbar says the resumption of classes depends on a number of factors.
You have to understand that there will be issues with social distancing. Obviously, we have boarding schools. We'll have issues with the students traveling in buses to schools. We'll have to look at those classrooms that have more than 30 or 40 children. So those are the ground realities that we are looking at.
The minister also explained that once schools open, they will complete all the syllabus.
We think that we will be able to normally complete this year and complete all the syllabus for our progressive transition into 2020. But that all depends on whether we open on June 30th or not.
Students all over the country have been on holiday since the 23rd of March following the confirmation of Fiji's first COVID-19 case. Faria Begum, FBC News.
Sugarcane farmers can expect their fourth cane payment this week to assist with their preparations prior to the crushing season, which begins next month. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sugar, Yogesh Karan, says farmers can expect the payment by Friday. The Sugar Industry Tribunal has confirmed that more than $95 million will be paid out in accordance with the Master Award, equivalent to $52.92 per tonne of cane. Maggie Boyle reports.
With crushing season 3 weeks away, the Ministry of Sugar has pushed up the next cane payment.
I have been in discussion with the CEO of FSC, and government has topped up as per its promise of $85 per tonne. We've transferred the money on Monday, and I'm expecting the cane payment to be made by this Friday.
Given the challenges of COVID-19 restrictions, the ministry is working around the clock to ensure farmers are better assisted.
But I want this payment done by Friday so that the farmers get enough time to prepare for the harvesting season. They have to repair their tractors, their trucks, and other equipment.
However, with the recent cyclone, the forecast sugar load has had to be revised downwards.
Unfortunately, a very promising crop of nearly 2 million tonnes is likely now to be reduced by about 10%. Could have been a lot worse, so we still have a crop of somewhere between 1.8 and 1.85 million tonnes of cane to crush.
Only last month, close to $80 million was paid out to farmers as part of the third cane payment. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Up ahead, new orders for WG Friendship Plaza developers. And Fiji seed sharing page hit among backyard farmers.
Natango prosan garse ngor kraki do televizyon na varong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibiti.
The developers of the WG Friendship Plaza in Suva have been ordered to make the steel fire retardant. The Suva City Council, along with 2 other senior officials from the Fiji Institute of Engineers, had a discussion with the developers as the quality of materials used remains a concern. Kritika Kumar reports.
A stop work order is in place for this multi-million-dollar building as the City Council awaits submissions from the developers.
There is a stop work notice. They cannot proceed with it unless and until they provide this particular plan. I think the key factor is the quality of steel being used.
Kumar reveals the building's plan does not clearly state the exit or other mechanisms that will be used for evacuation in case of a fire.
This will require painting of the steels and so forth because we can already see the rust on the steel. So they need to fix all that before they can continue building that building.
Vijay Krishnan, who is the engineer working with the developer, says the current structure has a fire rating of 1, which they are going to extend.
But we intend to put a three-hour fire rating on those columns by way of sprayed-on vermiculite, which is a standard product. So currently it's being sourced out of China.
Krishnan says in their meeting, the City Council also highlighted other issues, which includes car parking space, and this remains a challenge for them. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Housing Ministry has received contributions from 2 embassies and 3 high commissions towards the Velomani Food Bank. These include a truckload of food items and other essentials. These items will be given to Fijians living in Housing Assistance Relief Trust and low-income earners who have been affected by COVID-19. The donation has been given by the New Zealand, British and Australian High Commissions, along with the Japanese and the US embassies.
All these initiatives are actually geared to low-income earners and how we can make their life better. So I truly appreciate all your assistance so far.
Backyard gardening is now a popular activity as more people are opting to switch to providing for themselves to cushion the impacts of the coronavirus pandemic. The Fiji Seed Sharing Network on Facebook is connecting farmers and new farmers who are helping each other get seeds and at the same time providing tips on backyard farming. Venina Rakautonga has more.
The Fiji Seed Sharing Network page has recorded an increase in interest from Fijians to start backyard farm.
It started very slow, it started with people I knew, farmers I knew, and then slowly, I think after this COVID and everyone wanting to get into backyard farming, they really picked up because I think people are now looking for planting materials to plant.
Page admin Vikash Kumar says because of his experience in farming, he left his day job and turned to backyard gardening.
I decided to create that page so that I can, connect with people who might have planting materials that, they could share with me or I could buy off them. So that's how it all started.
Minister for Agriculture Dr. Mahendra Reddy says 25,000 households have been helped through the home gardening initiative to date.
As I said, these are not people who are just taking it for the sake of it. We have mobilized them. So 25,000 households are now engaging in putting vacant land around their home into production, which is amazing.
The Fiji Seed Sharing Network Facebook page has come at a time when many Fijians are facing challenges as price of fresh produce is skyrocketing. The initiative is supportive to the ministry's home gardening program, which has seen an increase in demand from the public. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
The Japanese government has donated over $72,000 worth of relief supplies to the Fijian government to help in post-Cyclone Harold recovery. Minister for National Disaster Management, Inia Seruratu, says the relationship between Fiji and Japan continue to soar to new heights in the field of disaster risk management. Seruratu says TC Harold has stretched government resources and the support will boost the morale of those Fijians affected.
I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the government of Japan for their kind donation, as this would indeed strengthen government's relief efforts for Fijian communities severely affected by TC Harold.
And turning overseas, the United States' top infectious disease doctor has warned against reopening the country too quickly. The doctor has told senators that states that go too soon risk triggering outbreaks, which will set back economic recovery. That message, though, is in contrast to what Donald Trump is saying. Let's join Koroya now for business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up, Investment Fiji to launch Exporter's Guide, and SPTO launches COVID-19 recovery strategy. Stay with us.
My name is Neha and I'm from Kadavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading business, Investment Fiji will soon launch an exporter's guide that will assist businesses wanting to move their products to overseas markets. Chief Executive Craig Strong says operating within the COVID-19 era has meant that the organization has to quickly readjust to the current circumstances. Strong says while they review their strategic plan in light of the global pandemic, there are some key milestones like the Exporter's Guide that they are aiming to roll out next month.
Finance for capital, for stock, how much you're going to need, how to go about it, biosecurity, so all the kind of the granular stuff on how you actually move a box of your goods around the region or to other markets, and we try and assist in that respect.
The South Pacific Tourism Organization has launched the Stop COVID-19 Recovery Strategy aimed at helping Fiji and other Pacific countries. The strategy will provide direction and guidance to all SPTO members. Chief Executive Christopher Coker says as a living document, the strategy will evolve alongside the global developments in order to ensure relevance in this unprecedented situation. This strategy provides an overview of the global situation and expected future trends while also addressing the current and expected challenges of the Pacific private sector, overall risks, immediate needs and recovery options. Disneyland in Shanghai has opened for the first time in 3 months. Disney shut all its theme parks as the pandemic spread across the world, but with temperature checks and compulsory masks, a visit to so-called the happiest place on earth is a little different these days. Gary from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the money world.
The U.S. Core Consumer Price Index fell 0.4% in April, the largest monthly drop since 1957, while the overall U.S. CPI fell 0.8% for the same month, and this was the biggest drop in 12 years. The indicator will be watched closely as falling prices over a sustained period could spark deflation, which would likely delay any economic recovery from the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, the Kiwi dollar weakened against its U.S. counterpart later today after the Reserve Bank of New Zealand announced that it will expand its large-scale asset purchase program from $33 billion to $60 billion. The central bank stated that the global economic disruption caused by the coronavirus pandemic is expected to persist and lead to lower economic growth, employment and inflation in New Zealand. Additionally, their official cash rate remains at 0.25%. Earlier this afternoon, the Aussie dollar barely moved after Australia's wage rate index rose 2.1% in the first quarter this year. The data dates back to the period before the coronavirus-led lockdown, which caused massive job losses. Meanwhile, the escalating China-Australia trade tensions is keeping the Aussie dollar at bay after China announced new tariffs of up to 80% on Australian barley imports and banned beef imports from 4 Australian abattoirs. And that's all from HFC Bank. Inaka.
Turning to today's exchange rates, as of this morning, not a very good day for the Fijian dollar, losing ground against most other currencies. The Fijian currency was down against the $1 US, New Zealand dollar, euro and the yen. Now on to the commodities market. Crude oil continues to improve, ending at $25.54 per barrel. Gold was up today by 52 cents, closing at $1,702 per ounce, while silver dropped at $15.49 per ounce. And that's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Nakokoroy and good evening. In sports tonight, Vilimoni Mbotito likely to join French top 14. And Serwakula praises players' initiative to stay fit. This and more coming up.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Another Fiji Sevens player could be getting his big break in the 15-a-side game. National Sevens rower Vilimoni Mbotito is expected to join Castra in French top 14 rugby alongside winger Amniasi Tui Mamba, who is likely to join PAU. Tali Materukula with the story.
Fiji Sevens head coach Gareth Baber has confirmed the duo's contracts were negotiated ahead of time.
We're looking at them moving after the Olympics. Obviously, things have changed, but fortunately for them as well, these agreements, contracts are still on the table. I'm not sure exactly where they are at the moment, and all the paperwork has been done.
Baber adds Mbotito and Tuimamba are now presented with an opportunity to improve their rugby skills.
I'm pleased for both of them that they get an opportunity to continue their development. They've done, they've been exemplary in the program that we have. Both have great work ethics and views of the game. And now obviously they're looking at the next stage in their careers.
Anticipating his next move, Vilimoni Mbotito hopes things will fall as planned.
If the agreement comes through, I will gladly accept it because I have my family to look after.
Botitu made his debut in the World 7 Series last year and was also named the DHL Impact Player last season. Tali Matirkula, FBC Sports.
Fijian Latui head coach Senirusi Serubakula has praised his players who have been diligent with individual training amid the COVID-19 restrictions. With the domestic rugby calendar being upended early this year, the Fiji Rugby Union has laid out training programs for players as they wait for competitions to resume.
It's been a good turnout for a lot of players doing their own video, and then we've been sending it every day. So that's how I monitor my players in the international level, and every day there's a new training schedule, and they've been doing that. And for the boys with the police and the military, so they have when they have their time out from work, they do that. And in a day, I receive more than 10 videos.
The Chiefs have confirmed they were unsuccessful with an approach to All Blacks lock Brodie Retallick about a return to the franchise for Super Rugby Aotearoa. It comes as the Crusaders announced they received a special dispensation to allow Sam Whitelock to join their squad. But Chiefs coach Warren Gatland has managed to lock down one key component to the squad. With dates now decided for professional rugby's big return, the next phase of getting back on the park is underway. But it's going to be a competition like we've never seen before, and that's throwing up plenty of new challenges and opportunities for all involved. England and Tottenham defender Danny Rose has criticized the Premier League's plans to restart the season amid the coronavirus pandemic. That's it from the sports team this Wednesday evening. Coming up in new media, a look at some alternatives to the Zoom video chat app. Details after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello to you. Welcome to the weather world. It's been an amazing day. Not too hot nor cold. It just stayed right. Clouds scoot around the areas and they will definitely stick with us tonight. Moving on to the other areas. The west, it was calm with clouds swifting by. Those very clouds will bring showers later tonight. Hey, it's not every day we see showers, right? Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, cloudy skies made an entry and will take over. Showers will block your skylight tonight. Don't worry, they will go away soon. And up north, it looks amazing. Showery effects will also be experienced here. Showers will cool off the high temperatures. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate seas. Turning to the tides, high tide at 12:12 a.m. with low tide at 6:06 a.m. Sunrise at 6:24 if it doesn't rain. For tomorrow, if you are a morning person, then sunrise will be a bit difficult to spot as the showers from tonight will continue in the morning. Tomorrow's temps, the north has it this time. Temperatures will be up a degree from today, settling at 32 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, I can already smell it from here. Conditions will be normal, but just keep your umbrellas handy, just in case. That's all the sun and shower news from here. It's back to the beauty.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, do you think the Employment Ministry is doing enough to protect the employers from the COVID-19 crisis?
I think the ministry can do more, but the employers should take responsibilities.
I know it's hard for some people to find employment. We have all had a lot of plates, but thankful to the ministry for securing jobs.
I think they are doing enough, and I'm thankful.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Newmarket brings renewed hope for vendors. TC Harrell leaves $100 million damage bill and farmers to receive early 4th cane payment. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question, we're asking, Should a banking ombudsman be appointed to oversee bank services in Fiji? Be sure to visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day sent in by Muhammad Rehan from Savu. The picture was captured at Benau Harbour. And show us what you've been up to during the lockdown and movement restrictions. Email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News, and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, stay safe, stay warm and dry. Modamanda.
I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.